The following was recorded on May 21st, 2025. Please keep in mind laws, guidelines, and processes may change over time. This is the Italian Citizenship Podcast, hosted by Marco Permunian and Rafael Di Furia. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Italian Citizenship Podcast, presented by ItalianCitizenshipassistance.com. Of course, we are back at it again with Italian attorney Marco Permunian. And in this episode, we wanted to discuss how to get around the new Tajani rules that were finalized on May 20th, 2025, and the pathways to citizenship. We'll be mainly talking about how to get citizenship, for example, if one of your parents or grandparents naturalized, and then also to discuss what if you couldn't get an appointment to begin with to be able to apply for citizenship by descent before March 28th. But we'll be talking about that part later in the episode. Marco, can you tell us a little bit about what things may look like for those who have grandparents or parents who naturalized, and what the citizenship process may look like for those individuals?
According to the rules that were confirmed by the Chamber of Deputies on March the 20th, it's not possible to apply for Italian citizenship by descent if your Italian parent or grandparent became naturalized in a foreign country. So the naturalization per se would prevent you from being able to apply for Italian citizenship by descent. However, at the same time, the final text of the Tajani decree has introduced the ability to apply for citizenship through residency through an accelerated program if you have an Italian parent or grandparent who were born in Italy, regardless of the fact that they became naturalized in a foreign country. So in short, even if your parent or grandparent was naturalized at some point in their lives in a foreign country, you can claim Italian citizenship after residing in Italy for 2 years. Now, the timeline to become an Italian citizen through a parent or grandparent by residing in Italy has become quicker under the new rules. In fact, prior to the Tajani decree, it was necessary to reside in Italy for 3 years to be able to apply for citizenship through an Italian-born parent or grandparent. Now it's necessary and sufficient to reside in Italy for 2 years in order to be able to get Italian citizenship this way. As we specified in other episodes, there are several ways to relocate to Italy on a visa. Primarily, people are looking into the elective residency visa, also known as the retirement visa, the digital nomad visa, or the student visa. But there are also other visas that are available for those who want to relocate to Italy with their families. For example, the work visa, the self-employment visa, or the investor visa are all valid options. Now, regarding the work visa, the final text of the Tajani decree has also introduced the ability to get the work visa in spite of the limitations that are in general established for those who are looking for a work visa, meaning that there is a limit. But the quota, meaning the limits that I'm talking about, do not apply to those who are wanting to get the work visa to relocate to Italy with the purpose of applying for citizenship through a parent or grandparent. And just for clarity, you can go through this process even if your parent or grandparent became naturalized in a foreign country. So in this scenario, it's not relevant if your parent or grandparent became a citizen at any point in their lives of a different country. And also, as I mentioned in previous episodes, when you relocate to Italy for these 2 years, it's not strictly necessary to reside in Italy for the whole time. It's important to reside for the majority of those 2 years. So there is some flexibility, and there is the ability to travel back and forth as long as you spend the majority of these 2 years in the country.
So Marco, from what you're saying, it sounds a lot like that this path to citizenship is citizenship through naturalization, correct?
Correct.
So does that mean that there is also a language requirement that will be in place for citizenship through this pathway?
That is correct. The language requirement is staying in place, meaning that since this is citizenship through residency or through naturalization, it is necessary to pass a language test. And the level required is B1, so lower intermediate. And we at ICA are offering a comprehensive package for those who are thinking of relocating to Italy to get citizenship this way. Not only we can get the documents that are required for the process and provide assistance with getting the proper visa to relocate to Italy, but also we can offer, as part of this package, language lessons that will help you prepare for the B1 test. We can also help you with making the arrangements that are necessary to take the test at one of the locations in Italy or in the US. And finally, we can help you with finding lodging. So to reside in Italy on a visa, it's generally speaking necessary to have a lodging before you relocate to Italy. And of course, you can purchase a property or you can rent one. But when you submit your visa application to the consulate, you need to have a property secured in Italy already. And that is something that we at ICA can help you with. And finally, of course, we can help you submit the citizenship application after the 2 years of residency in the country.
So, having discussed the set of circumstances for individuals whose parents or grandparents lost citizenship or were not exclusively Italian citizens at the time of their death, what would be the path to citizenship for citizenship by descent for those maybe who've been trying for months or years to be able to get an appointment and just simply haven't been able to because of the lack of appointments available at their consulate that they would have to have applied through before all of this came to change?
The law of conversion of the Tajani decree allows for individuals who obtained an appointment with the consulate or municipality prior to March the 28th of 2025 to be able to apply for citizenship in the future on the day of their appointment and to use the old rules. Now, of course, there are many individuals who have been actively looking for an appointment with an Italian consulate for sometimes a very long time. So individuals who had their documents ready and they were just waiting to get an appointment with their local Italian consulate, as they were required to do, because let's keep in mind that the only way for an individual who was residing abroad and didn't want to, for whatever reason, relocate to Italy to apply for citizenship by descent, the only way was to apply through an Italian consulate. And in several countries with a strong Italian community like Brazil, Argentina, the US, Canada, the UK, and Australia, the Italian consulates were not able to release enough appointments for those individuals who validly wanted to submit their claim for Italian citizenship and had all their documents. So many individuals, like I said, were waiting and waiting to be able to get an appointment or to be called by the consulate or to be able to get on a waiting list, or maybe some people were on a waiting list and they were waiting to be called for their appointment. And let's keep in mind that there were consulates that were closed after the health emergency, sometimes for 1 or 2 years, or that at times, even recently, were not even releasing any appointments for months. And for those consulates that were releasing appointments, the release was sporadic or it was unpredictable when the appointments were going to be released. So it almost at some point looked like a lottery where people needed to be lucky to get an appointment with the consulate to be able to submit their application. Now, all of these circumstances make it clear that there are many individuals that have been wanting to submit their applications under the old rules and simply were prevented from being able to submit the application through no fault of their own. So why would these individuals be not allowed to submit now their citizenship applications just because they were not lucky enough to get an appointment? And those who were lucky to get an appointment are allowed to submit their citizenship application by using the old rules in the future. This is a valid argument that can be used in a court of law to claim the ability to use the old rules despite the new Tajani decree. And more precisely, if you were not able to get an appointment with the consulate, how could you have booked an appointment with the consulate? So why shouldn't you be allowed to use the old rules in a court of law? Now, this process may seem very daunting, but actually this process has worked already in the past prior to the Tajani decree very many times, meaning that a lot of individuals prior to the Tajani decree were already petitioning the Italian courts just because of the lack of appointments. So there are already many rulings by the Italian courts that confirm the fact that if you were unable to get an appointment with the consulate, you can apply for citizenship through an Italian court. So the only additional argument that would be made now is that inability of getting an appointment caused the inability to submit an application prior to the March 28 Tajani decree. And let's keep in mind that in Italy, there is a legal principle in the Italian system according to which an individual cannot be held back from exercising their rights. And therefore, it is only reasonable for an individual to petition the court and to argue that the only reason why they were not able to submit their applications to a consulate in a timely manner was because the consulate was not giving them an appointment.
Well, I do have to say that is absolutely fascinating that there is this challenge that can be made. And I know there are many people whose paths were blocked from getting citizenship by descent because of the lack of appointments available. I know I've received many messages, and I'm sure that you've received many messages as well from individuals who've been trying to get appointments for the past few years. But of course, Marco, if anybody is needing help with either of these paths to citizenship, how can they get in contact with you and your team?
People can contact us through our website, ItalianCitizenshipassistance.com, or give us a call. Our phone number is on our website.
Thank you so much. And of course, for more episodes like this, be sure that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel as well as the audio-only podcast. But of course, being subscribed to the YouTube channel does mean that you will be subscribed automatically to the episodes of the Italian Real Estate Podcast, as well as episodes of Ask the Italian Lawyer, where we go into more details about Italian law, as well as Italian real estate. But of course, for more about life abroad and living abroad from the perspective of a dual citizen expat, be sure to come over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Rafael Di Furia, or you can search for Not Your Average Globetrotter on YouTube. But of course, again, we have been here with Italian attorney Marco Permunian. I am Rafael Di Furia. This has been another episode of the Italian Citizenship Podcast. Stay safe and healthy out there, and we'll see you all next time. Thank you.
Thank you.